Hello friends, today we are discussing two articles which is published on Hindu July 30th. The first article is Shaping the Digital World and the second article is A Quest for Order Amid Cyber Insecurity. A Quest for Order Amid Cyber Insecurity. This article is written by Syed Akbaruddin and again it is published on Hindu July 30th. So here in this article the author is discussing what are the issues involved in cyberspace and to deal the governance issue, to frame the governance architecture, international cooperation, international participation, international negotiation and debate is needed so that a agreed framework is made where this cyberspace will work. So it is a very complex issue because there are multiple stakeholders involved here. So in that context, UN also going to play a very important role. So here author suggests that India should participate actively, proactively in this global governance debate of cyberspace so that India protect its national interest and use this cyberspace for the economic growth also. So first of all we'll analyze what are the issues involved in the cyberspace. So we see that cyberspace increasingly becoming important for for nation and as well as at global level because the economy is increasingly becoming digitalized due to this e-commerce and other factor, and there are many critical infrastructure which is digitally operated. Similarly, all businesses are also conducted in the cyber market space. This has raised many issues related to data, data sovereignty as well as data protection, which has a implication for national security and sovereignty. But this cyberspace is not confined to boundary of nation, state, but it has a international dimension and multiple stakeholder which may private as well as private parties, private as well as governmental sectors involvement is there, and we see that globally there are a few large technology companies which is controlling the technology. So how this technology which is concentrated in a few hands going to affect the national security and sovereignty, how the country's data, if it is gone beyond the boundaries of country, how it is going to affect the national security. Similarly, the individual's data, if it is if it is the data is reached to the other people's hand, then what will happen to the privacy of that data, and what is the role of state for related to role of state in related to data sovereignty. And we see that increasingly cyber attack is happening. This ransomware, phishing mail and other hacking are increasingly happening. So this is also all factor which are involved in cyberspace, and espionage is also one of the very important issues because in that here we see that recently there was an allegation that a state actor was involved related to theft of data of this COVID related medicine development. So we see that here, due to transnational dimension of cyberspace, there are and multi stake of multiple stakeholder, we see that it has a global dimension and it is affecting the national security and sovereignty, and there should be a global governance architecture where this issue can be handled, because it is not not possible by a single country to manage or govern the cyberspace. A international cooperation and a common understanding, a common framework is needed to handle such kind of issues. Problem is that growth of technology is way ahead of the development of associated norms and institutions, because the kind of technology and the speed at which they are growing, it is outpacing the development of associated norm or institution in a country or at global level. So we see all these things are playing a issue here. And recently we see that due to using the region of national security, India has banned 59 Chinese apps. But again, we don't know what kind of assessment was done and what are the implications for this ban on individuals' freedom of free speech. Similarly, for 5G, because of fear of theft of data and of how this critical infrastructure will be which will operate in cyberspace, due to national security, we see that a lot of apprehension is there in 5G development side of using Chinese company. So all these factors are playing a important role in cyberspace. So a long-term strategic thinking on digital issues, constant, and how they are affecting the India's foreign policy need to be thought of, because whenever a country, suppose India decide, let us take the example of 5G, the region is of national security due to theft or danger of data, Indian data passing to some other country. This is basically technical and cyberspace issue region. But based on that logic, if India ban Chinese company, that will have a implication on foreign policy issue. So all these cyber policies has a implication on national security, nation's foreign policy. So in totality, we have to see. Coming back to the governance, cyber governance issue, so we see that so far there is no global understanding developed, because so far it is operating in fragmentation, and no global commons related to global cyber governance framework has developed so far, because of differing perception and understanding and need of individual countries. Because we know that there at global level there is a huge digital divide, and this transformation which is happening in cyberspace, what are those parameters which are affecting this transformation? There is a lack of understanding, so that a matrix of parameters which is affecting this transformation in cyberspace is not properly understood, agreed upon, and how it is going to be used for developing a framework. So there is a lot of work in this direction, and a common understanding need to be developed. And here we see that in this cyberspace there are multiple stakeholders, both state and non-state actors also. And non-state actors, particularly technology companies, play a very important role. And any private company, they have a commercial goal in their mind, which is different from a state goal or perception. So there is a clash in perception. A state control within its. So we see that due to multiple players here, both state and non-state actor, different perception, different goal is there. And a state within its jurisdiction has a physical control over the infrastructure over which this cyberspace runs. So state control the physical infrastructure, but this data which flow through this infrastructure can go from one country to another country, so over which the data state do not have a control, but that data belongs to of the citizen of that country. So here, related to data protection, privacy, data sovereignty, all those issues come into the picture. But again, if state exercise strict control over data, that will hamper the innovation, startup, or many product which is possible through relax use of sharing of those data. So there are two contradictory requirements here related to data. It should be controlled, but not to that level that it hampers the startup, entrepreneurship, or development of new product. Similarly, for goal, a commercial private party will have a different goal compared to the goal of a state. And when this cyberspace has a multiple stakeholder, how to create a framework architecture, governance architecture, which satisfy both the needs and requirement of state actor, non-state actors, requirement of data protection and sharing of data for development of economy or for product development. So there are many contradictory requirements are there related to jurisdiction. So we see that a governance model, a governance framework is needed which satisfy this complex requirement of multiple stakeholders. And coming to the technology itself, that we see that the cyberspaces uses many technology which has a dual use. It can be used for civilian purpose, it can be used for military purpose also. And we see that technology is basically only a few dominant technologies and dominant companies are there which is controlling the technology. So how they are going to use the technology, which way they are going to use the technology, how they will make it accessible, these are the issues related to technology. So we have to see that again growth of technology is much faster compared to the institution which is there, which is going to come for controlling that ecosystem. So we have to see that control over technology and how they are used is going to play a very important role. And in that direction, there are technical alliance, industry specifics. So Indian industry should join those technical alliance. Some are driven by Microsoft, some are driven by Siemens, and similarly one alliance based on Peristalk. So we see that for framework for having a framework related to global governance of cyberspace, still no common ground has been found because of differing perception, need, requirement, and multiple stakeholders. But some work is going on in that line. So we'll talk about those things here. So here we see that a UN has accepted the requirement of global governance in cyberspace. And what UN says that international law and UN Charter are applicable in cyberspace. A set of voluntary norms of responsible state behavior was agreed to in 2015. So what UN says that international law and UN Charter is applicable in cyberspace, and a global behavior norm was agreed in 2015, which should be used for state for conducting its behavior related to cyberspace. And in that line, group of governmental expert, one committee is there, 6 committees there out of 6, 5 in 5 India is a member of it. And similarly, open-ended working group is there because it is restricted to 6 countries, 6 members, but here more than 100 members are there. In both the forum, India is participating. And the goal is to look for a cyber norms that can balance the competing demand of national sovereignty and transactional connectivity. So some work under the aegis of UN is going on, and like GGE and OEWG, and India is a part of that grouping, and with that grouping they are trying to develop a framework which will balance the national sovereignty security with the requirement of in cyberspace of transnational connectivity. And what author is saying that India must function as a rule shaper to preserve the civil, political and economic right of its citizen. So India should play a very important role in framing of this global governance architecture. And India should participate global technology governance debate and shape incumbent rules and norms. India should also participate in international negotiation to create vibrant rules and norms, because this conflicting national law concerning data use and storage is one factor which is, with the participation of other country, with the negotiation of other country, India should find a model which satisfy both the thing. So here we see that in cyberspace things are complicated and evolving, because it is not simple between state to state, because private parties are involved, technologies are involved. It is very fast paced, technology changing very fast, it has a global dimension. So, and it is something new, a new institution, new framework has to be developed, because this happened within a few years, so there is no precedent for this thing. And in that debate India should proactively participate. So this concludes the analysis of today's articles. I hope this analysis will help you to improve your understanding. Thank you.